good morning, good afternoon. This is Drew. Welcome to Body Bend Yoga. We're going to be doing a quick flow through of a Sun A and Sun B. It's just a nice warm up. It could be a class as well if you're just looking for something short and easy. So put on something cozy and let's go ahead and get started. So come to the top of your mat in a standing position. You want to bring your toes together with your heels slightly apart. If that's not comfortable for you, you can bring your feet hips width distance. Inhale your arms all the way up to the sky. And exhale, fold forward. Place both palms on the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Extend through your spine. Find a nice flat spine. Bring both palms to the ground. Bring your fingers as wide as you can. Step your right foot back and your left foot back. And then come into a plank position. If this is too much for you, you can drop your knees. And then exhale halfway down with a 90-degree bend in your elbows. Inhale, lift into upward facing dog. And exhale, come into downward facing dog. Bend your knees if you need to. You want to find more length in your spine than you do in the back of your legs. Step your right foot forward. Bring your back knee down. Inhale your arms all the way up. And find length in your spine with another inhale. Exhale, bring both hands to the ground. Step your foot back into downward facing dog. You can pedal your legs out here if you need to. Loosen up your spine. Keep your knees bent if you still feel tension in your back. And we're going to move to the next side. So step your left foot forward in between your hands. Inhale both arms all the way up to the sky. Engage your core and find more of a lift in your back. Exhale, bring both palms to the ground. Tuck your back toes. Step your left foot to meet your right. Drop your knees if you need to. We're going to exhale, come halfway down into our chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog. Press the tops of your feet into the ground. And then tuck your toes, lift your hips back into downward facing dog. Look to the top of your mat, walk your feet all the way up there. Inhale, halfway lift, find length in your spine. The crown of your head should be reaching forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms all the way up to the top. Exhale, bring your hands back to heart center. And so now we're going to flow through that 2 more times. Breath to movement, so it's going to be a little quicker. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, find length in your spine. Exhale, place both palms on the ground. Spread your fingers as wide as you can. Come into a plank position. Drop your knees if you need to. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, lift your hips and knees off of the mat. Roll your shoulders back. Come back into downward facing dog. And step your right foot forward. Drop your back knee. Untuck your toes and lift. Make sure your knee is over your ankle. Lift your arms all the way up. Find length. And exhale. Step your foot back, come into downward facing dog, and we're going to switch sides. Pedal your legs out first if you need to. And then we're going to step our left foot in between our hands, drop our back knee, untuck our toes. Make sure your knee is over your ankle. Inhale, lift all the way up. Inhale, and exhale. Bring both palms to the ground. Step your foot back to meet your right foot. Come into your plank position. Shift forward, inhale, chaturanga, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. That sounded crazy. If no one got that, I get it. Look to the top of your mat, walk all the way to the top of your mat. Inhale, find length, engage your core to find more length. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last time, let's make it count. Inhale. And exhale, release, sigh it out. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, find length in your spine. Exhale, fold one more time. Step your feet back. Come into a plank position, I think. Yeah, not a downward facing dog. And then drop your knees if you need to. Bend your arms halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog. And pull your chest through. Lift your hips into downward facing dog. Look to the top of your mat. Step your right foot back. Untuck your back toes. Lift. Inhale. And exhale. Place both palms. Step your right foot back. into downward facing dog. Pedal your legs out. And then step your right foot forward in between your hands. And drop your back knee, untuck your toes. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up, engage your core, and exhale, bring both palms to the ground. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Drop your knees if you need to. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take a deep inhale and exhale. Walk your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Take a deep breath. Take a moment. Now we're going to go into our side B. Our B, whatever. Bring your toes together and your heels. Drop your hips. Lift your arms. Come into your chair pose. Sink your hips a little bit lower. Take an inhale. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Find length in your spine. Exhale, fold. And step your right foot back. Step your left foot back. Come into downward facing dog. Lift your right leg all the way to the sky. Step your foot in between your hands. And we're going to inhale, lift into a crescent pose. And then we're going to seal our back heel to the mat and come into warrior one. And you want to make sure your front knee is still bent. Take an inhale, find length. Exhale, bring both palms to the ground. Step your right foot back. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale. Lift up. JK, roll forward into a plank. Drop your knees if you need to. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now lift your left leg all the way to the sky. Exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Inhale into our crescent pose, and then seal your back heel to the mat into warrior one. Take an inhale, find length, and exhale, place both palms on the ground. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Drop your knees if you need to, halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now look to the top of your mat. Walk your feet up to the top of your mat. And we're going to inhale, come straight into our chair pose. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold one more time. And sweep your arms all the way to the sky. Find some length and bring your hands to heart center. And so we're going to do that again. And we're going to flow breath to movement this time. So inhale, come into chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, find length in your spine, engage your core, place your palms on the ground, bend your knees if you need to. Step your right foot back, step your left foot back. Come down halfway, inhale into upward facing dog, exhale into downward facing dog. Lift your right leg all the way to the sky, step your foot in between your hands. Inhale into crescent pose. You want to make sure you're really pressing into the Come into warrior one, and make sure you're pressing into the knife edge of your foot, your knees over your ankle. Inhale your arms all the way up. Exhale, bring them down. Step your right foot back. Come into a plank pose. Drop your knees if you want to. JK, or come back into downward facing dog. Lift your left leg to the sky. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. And inhale into crescent pose. Press into the back toes. Seal your heel to the mat. Make sure the knife edge of your foot is pressing into your mat and your knee is over your ankle. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, place both palms to the ground. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Come down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look to the top of your mat. Walk your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come into your chair pose. And stand all the way up. Bring hands to heart center. And, it looks like, I don't know what's going on. We're doing it again. Jump back into chair pose. Sink your hips to the ground. Place your hands on the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Step your right foot back. Step your left foot back. Come into a plank pose. Halfway down, inhale, upward facing dog. Roll your shoulders back, pull your chest forward, and then lift your hips, come into downward facing dog. Bring your right leg to the sky, then step it in between your hands. Inhale into your crescent pose. Make sure you're pressing into the tops of your foot. You want your heel to be over the ball of your foot and your knee to be over your ankle. Inhale, both arms all the way up. Seal your back heel to the mat. Make sure you're pressing into the knife edge of your foot. Then come back down. Bring your foot to meet your other foot. That was crazy. Chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. I am so sorry, you guys. Bring your left leg to the sky. Step it in between your hands. Inhale into crescent pose. And then seal your back heel to the mat for warrior one. Make sure you're pressing into the knife edge of your foot, knee over ankle. Bring your palms to the ground. Step into chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Look to the top of your mat. Make your way. Hop, skip, float, jump, whatever you want. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And sweep back into the last chair, all the way standing. Come into standing. Inhale, arms all the way up to the sky. Pull that beautiful energy back into your heart. And thank you guys for joining me today for that hot ass mess. Have a lovely day.